Hello everyone, welcome back to Teacup Tarot. My name is Reya, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at what messages you need to receive from your future self. And honestly, with these kind of videos, I would really like it if you guys have little notes here and there, because some points are very important to remember, especially for the long run. And especially if you don't feel like, this doesn't really match right now, just note it down somewhere, because maybe later on you will need it in your life. Yeah, but note them once again. So as always, you have 3 piles in front of you, so please make sure you pick whichever pile that speaks to you. And of course, once you're done with selecting your pile, we start with pile 1. Hello everyone, and if you've selected pile 1, these are the messages that your future self has for you. Now, interestingly, there's a beautiful blessing that is coming on you. Your future self is telling you that we've done good work. We are accomplished. We've actually made sure that our dreams come true, but along with just having our dreams come true, we've made people proud of us. Yeah, so if there's somebody out here who's wondering that, am I going to be doing good work? Am I going to be doing work that is going to be recognized? The answer is yes. So whatever you're doing in the present moment, do it. Do it beautifully, do it with a lot of, dedication, and definitely there is a blessing on the work that you're doing when it comes to your life. And remember this, there is also a firm increase when it comes to your material well-being. So money-wise, in the future, you guys are A-okay. In fact, it is going to be keeping on increasing and going to a huge level when it comes to the future. You'll probably also be investing in assets. This could be buying a house for yourself, this could be buying a land for yourself, or just having multiple investments when it comes to your future. But there's nothing for you to worry about at all, So if there's somebody out here who's right now being like, am I going to be taken care of? You're going to be more than taken care of. Yeah, that's something you have to know. Now, interestingly, there is also a beautiful blessing on you, and that is the blessing of being a teacher. That is being a blessing of being a guide towards somebody. Now, of course, in the future, the possibility that you could actually take up teaching work, the possibility that you could be a guide to people, maybe younger people, maybe kids, or to older people at that, is also there. But one of your responsibilities is to advise people in the future. And remember this, being a teacher only comes to people who are exceptionally wise. Yeah, so maybe you're going to be learning something today that you'll be teaching to others in the future. So that possibility is also there for you. But sometimes this can also mean that you're going to be having responsibility of kids on you. Now, these could be your kids, the responsibility of kids of, maybe your brother, your sister, or a family member. But your involvement with them is going to be a great deal. Now, one thing, let me tell you, your future self is telling you 2 things. Firstly, you need to take care of your body. So please make sure, if you are neglecting eating healthy, you're going to be regretting that big time in the future. So if little things are cropping up here and there today in your body, address it today. Eat healthy, green fruits and vegetables you cannot avoid. And especially, if there's anybody out here who actually has low blood, probably anemia, then that is something you have to take care of today. Yeah, nourish your body, cherish yourself, very important. But along with that, you also need to monitor your thoughts. That is what your future self is telling you. Because what happens is, you harm your body, you harm your energy more with your own thoughts than with anything else. So your future self is like, please do this for me. Yeah, I don't want to do rectification work tomorrow. Just do this for me. So this is almost like a request coming to you from your future self. And your future self is telling you, can you please work a little bit harder? So if you're a student and watching me, don't be the person who just, is working to pass an examination. If you're working on a project, don't be like, okay, I just need to complete it. No, you need to be the best at it. You have to spend hours behind something, is what your future self is telling you. Increase your efforts is what your future self is telling you. So because you need to be a master, remember, a teacher is not just somebody who passes an examination. A teacher is somebody who knows things perfectly well. Yeah, so you have to really get in that direction, is what your future self is trying to tell you. Now remember something. Wanting things in your life is great, wanting money in your life is great, wanting material things for yourself is great. But remember, don't be greedy. Yeah, there has to be a sense of this is enough for me, of being grateful for the things that you have. Because unless you're like, I am happy with what I have, no matter how much you have tomorrow, it's not going to be enough. So be grateful, is what your future self is telling you. But more than being grateful, be content with whatever you have, so that there'll be a blessing on what you have today, and in the future it'll increase multifolds. Yeah, that's a message for you from your future self. Now, your future self is also telling you to take risk when it comes to your life, to try different things, to explore different avenues. You remember this, you don't belong in any specific box. So the possibility that you're going to be learning things that are very not related to each other is very much there. The possibility that you may travel a lot is also very much there. Travel related to learning especially is very much there. So if there's somebody who wants to, probably go to a different university which is slightly away from your current place, that is there. If you want to, sort of go for work in a different city, in a different country, explore that option, because there is a lot that you have to do in your future. I won't be surprised if there is a couple of you out here who will settle down in another country in the future, who will settle down in an entirely different culture in your future is also there. But there is this huge growth that is going to be taking place for you in the future. But for that, you have to stop being afraid and just get out of the box, get out of your comfort zone is there for you. Now, yes, your future self is telling you two things. Firstly, words of affirmation. You need to repeat that to yourself. And second is clean your energies every single day. Have a smudging ceremony, because what happens is you accumulate that, psychic debris on yourself. So saging, Palo Santo has to be a part of you, because what I feel like, this is coming as a warning to you from your future self. Because when things go wrong for you, they go wrong probably because you pick up on somebody else's energies. If a person is not happy around you, you're picking up that energies. If a person is excessively worried around you, you're picking that energies, and that is not good for you. So smudging, you need to have like a good supply of sage and Palo Santo with you every single day, and saging in the evening is now mandatory for you. Yeah, so please make sure you do that. Cleaning your energies. Now, one more thing. Your future self is telling you you already are going to be having a lot of money, but your expenditures are also a lot. So please make sure you're taking care of your financial health. Before you spend a considerable amount of money, please make sure you're saving things. The emphasis here is on saving. Saving for long term, saving for short term, both. Yeah, because I feel like, for you, money comes in, but money goes out equally. So then, you have to make sure that you're really focusing on saving. Very important. Yeah, so get a financial consultant for yourself who will probably make you, make the right decisions. That is something, if you don't know how to manage your finances, please do it. Now, your future self is telling you just release burdens that you don't need to carry, especially this involves grudges. Yeah, release it. Just free yourself from it. Yeah, and live a simple life, live an easy life and breathe. Your future self is telling you we are not going to be having a lot of friends. Your future self is telling you we are going to be having very few people in our life, because we are going to be having a very rich internal life. And then, because you're going to be having such a great internal life, release whoever it is that doesn't belong. See, you need quality in your life. When it comes to people, you do not need quantity. Yeah, that's something your future self is telling you. So release everything that doesn't belong. And this also talks about belongings. So if you are the kind of people who are holding on to things that are going as far as your childhood, release it. release it with a prayer, and probably give it to somebody who can use it much more than you do, because you're not going to be having the use for a lot of things when it comes to your life. So I won't be surprised for you, pile one, if in the future you end up being people who have very, very few belongings. If you have very few clothes, if you have very few possessions, you guys are on the way to becoming minimalist or essentialist at that. Both of these philosophies, I would like to encourage you to read about it. And in fact, I'm going to leave a link to two beautiful books that I personally have. Yeah, because I'm one of those people who are both, a minimalist and essentialist at that. So probably you are going to be getting into that lifestyle in the future as well, and release whatever things that you're holding on to, resentments especially that do not belong. And okay, your future self is telling you need to make sure that you're making more effort when it comes to your spiritual life. Yeah, if right now the day and the time that you spend in God is like 1 hour, or if it is like even a couple of minutes for a couple of you, remember to spend a day with God. Yeah, so whether this is a Sunday for you, whether this is a Friday for you, any day, but 1 full day has to be dedicated away from the world to God, and has to be focused on only worship towards God, whichever way of God that you believe in. Yeah, because that dedication is important, and maybe right now that dedication is not happening when it comes to you. Interestingly, this is a beautiful combination that is coming forth. Okay, what you need to do is you need to have 1 day in your life where you're just reading to gain wisdom that will be helpful for you later on. You have to pray, you have to make sure you smudge. So of course this involves then making sure that you're spending time with yourself more than others. The day that you make sure that you're really repeating those affirmations, and preferably that day cooking your own food. And remember this, your future self is also telling you here, as much as you can cook on your own. Yeah, as much as you can cook a meal that is more right for your own body than for anything else. So please make sure, if you can really spend time with an Ayurveda expert and ask them what kind of food is actually right for you, and then involve that food when it comes to life. That will be helpful for you. So let me tell you this, in a way your future self is hinting towards a more nature oriented life. Even when it comes to taking medicinal treatments, Ayurveda or naturopathy. Naturopathy is like, treating yourself through juices, treating yourself through nourishing food. Yeah, through food that is nourishing for you is also important. So this is like, your future self is taking you in a specific direction, and that involves starting to make sure that you spend that 1 day with God, and make sure that day you are with yourself and God at that. Discipline is something your future self is hinting for you. Yeah, so if right now you're living a life that is not in harmony with things, or maybe you do things as and when you feel like they are okay with you, that is not going to work. Discipline, most important. So every single night before you go to sleep, make a plan. Like, tomorrow I'm going to be doing this, tomorrow I'm going to be eating this, tomorrow this is my priority. Very important. And once again, please make sure you're taking care of, the health of your home is also important. So dusting your home, and dusting your home of negative energies also involves people. So if you have somebody else living with you right now, if you're living with family, if you're living with spouse, how is the mental health of those people? Try and make sure whoever you live with, you do something to make them happy. Or just make sure something is done that their mental state and their well-being is taken care of. Because otherwise what will happen is, you are going to be affected because of that. Yeah, but once again, discipline is important, and making sure you brush away debris from your life is also important. Remember, your future self is telling you your past holds no hold over you. Your past is done, it's dusted, it's over. Whatever you can do, you can only do it today. So if you're people who are still hanging on to your past, that is not going to help you. So your future self is in a way telling you, please don't come to me with baggage. Come to me with freedom. So you yourself have to give your future self the gift of freedom, and the gift of freedom from your past. So once again, the focus is on releasing. The focus is on forgiving. And the focus is on just carrying with you what is essential. Yeah? Essentialism, minimalism in body, mind, and spirit, in everything is what is going to be important. And your future self is almost like, can you please do it already? Don't carry the burdens and don't bring it to me in the future. That's something that they are telling you. So there's a lot that you have to do, pile one. Yeah. So one thing, if I have to tell you about your blessings, money wise, you guys are good, more than good. Yeah. But for the rest, there is a lot that you have to do. So right now, you guys are like work in progress. But if you do this work, the kind of life that you're going to be having in the future is mind blowing. Because see, you're taking care of your money today, you're taking care of your resentments today, you're being happy today, and then you're teaching everything that you've learned today to people tomorrow in the future, probably the next generation. Yeah, you're going to be that wise master. That is what your future self is hinting at. But your future self is very smart, they're not giving you things easily because they expect you to work for it today. Yeah, so please do this as much as you can. Yeah, I'll leave you here then with nothing but my best wishes for your future. I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Hello, and if you've selected pile 2, these are the messages that you need to receive from your future self. So let's take a look at what your future self has to tell you. And first of all, your future self is telling you, can you please make sure you make grounding a priority for yourself? Work on your root chakra. Not change things frequently. Not change your belief system frequently. And most importantly, do not change your spiritual practices frequently. Select a path and make sure that that is the path that you stick on to the very end, because it is only when you do that that you will get the results that you seek from your future self. And remember something, your future self is also telling you, value every day. Do not postpone things to the future. If there is something that you can take care of today, do it today. Mindfulness, very, very important when it comes to your life. Yeah, and also live a simple life. Live an easy life. Don't complicate things for yourself is a message from your future self for you. Yes, and also your future self is telling you, if you can involve yourself in flowers, that will be beautiful. Now, of course, when it comes to flowers, it can be multiple things. Actually having a garden full of flowers, getting into a business of flowers, or involving yourself in bach flower therapies, and especially for all of my friends who are into healing professions. Healing with bach flower therapy is amazing, so maybe try that, go in that direction, or experiment with it slightly, is what your future self is here to tell you. Now, along with that, your future self is also telling you to make sure that you're making your family a priority for you. Is you're making sure that your relationships are good. Yeah, especially with your own kids or with your parents. Because if you do not work on making your relationships with them better today, tomorrow you're going to be regretting it later. Yeah, so please make sure you're valuing your relationships, especially, with your kids or with your parents. Very, very important for you. Family bonds need to be nurtured. And you are also being advised, as much as you can, or as little as you can, in fact, spend time outdoors. Because it is the elementals that connect with you a great deal. Fairies, there are people who don't believe in fairies, and I'm like, why? If you just spend time outdoors, the magic will be upon you. Yeah, and they're shiny little things, and it's very easy to miss them. But if you consistently spend time outdoors, especially where there are a lot of trees around, their presence cannot be ignored. And I feel like somewhere they want to connect with you, and then getting your healing from elementals very much there. So once again, trees, nature, water bodies, very important for your connection to get strengthened with Mother Nature and with the elementals. Okay. Now, certain kind of food need to not be a part of your life, and that involves tamasic food. Yeah. Now, for tamasic food, there's an entire list, but of course, you have things that are not really good for you, or sometimes moving on to a vegetarian diet may be important. But remember this, your sleeping habits also need to be monitored slightly. So if you have a habit of sleeping for more than 6 or 7 hours at that, then I feel like certain things need to change for you. So two things your future self is telling you: excessive sleeping and excessive eating tamasic food. As much as you can resolve it, it will be great for you and your future life. Because what happens sometimes for certain people, okay, tamasic food then results in certain ailments. So maybe you want to avoid that, so please go in that direction. Now your future self is also telling you have fun. So if you are the kind of people who probably give work excessive importance, if you're the kind of people who are like, no, I'm going to be working and I'm going to be working, I'm going to be focusing on my work, ignoring my family, you're going to be regretting that later. Yeah, because you need to have a full life, right? You need to have family that loves you, you need to have extensive community that you can be a part of, and you need to have a hobby. So these three things need to be a priority other than your work. So your life, your future self is telling you, need to be divided into a perfect half. Half of your time for your work and half of your time for your family, for your community, and for pleasure. Yeah, your hobbies, that's important. Now, your future self is telling you, take time out for your ancestors. Yeah, now with ancestors, you can do this on every new moon day. Yeah, just lighting a candle for them, or even if you don't do anything, just say a sincere thank you. But remember them. Just remembering them is enough, and especially I know with a lot of, communities and a lot of religions, a yearly practice is conducted around people who've passed away. Don't miss it. Very important. Because, ancestral blessings, if you have them in your life is going to be beautiful. But if you have ignored your ancestors, generally you will have a problem with your work and you will have a problem with your health. So if right now you are having a problem with either of these things, ancestral, things need to be taken care of. But please, honor your ancestors. Very important. And remember, freedom is something that is in your own hands. So if you feel tied up when it comes to your life, nobody else is responsible for it but yourself. Remember, you have the key to the cage that you're putting yourself in. Open the key, let yourself out, and you will be free. So in certain cases, you have this outstanding capacity to trap yourself in situations that, are actually not yours to take care of. Release yourself from it. Okay, whatever it is that is in your life is self-imposed. Yeah, you have to take charge of your life. Now, once again, remember to give importance to your friendships. Yeah, so if you are the kind of people who are ignoring your friends right now, that's something that's not going to work. Yeah, so go out on coffee dates with your friends, go out and connect with them, and please don't talk about your work that time. Don't talk about your family, just connect with them. But you need friends in your life, okay? So especially for people who probably find themselves friendless, make new friends. Use social media for making friends. Go out, involve yourself in communities. Do something that you love, go for a book club, go for a baking, course, whatever it is, but find a friend for yourself. Yeah, very important. Laughter, most important for you. Bring humor into your life. Don't be serious all the time. And it's usually people who are very workaholics are people who don't have humor in their life. So bring happiness for yourself. Smile, laugh. Yeah. Funny movies. I could list 100 for you right now. Yeah. But please make sure you're making happiness and laughter a part of your life. And remember to take risk. Sometimes what happens for you, you make commitments and you realize you're trapped in those commitments. Remember, once again, you have the key in your own hands. You can release yourself and you can have a different life for yourself anytime you want. Take a risk. Move beyond your comfort zone. Don't let your comfort zone trap you in your own life is what is coming through for you. And once again, if you want to move out of the town that you're living in, out of the city that you're living in, out of the country that you live in, do it. Yeah, do whichever thing that you feel is right for you. Remember this. Sometimes what happens is, sometimes a person's past is actually something that traps them from their future. But for you, that is not how it is. For you, in fact, there is a lot that you can learn so that you don't repeat the mistakes for yourself in the present and the future. So the past, the mistakes you're made because you needed to learn something specific. It was divinely intended. Nothing you can do can change it now. Yeah? But remember, learn from your past and don't repeat the same things in your future. And let me tell you this is especially for your family. If you've ignored your family, if you've not made certain members of your family a priority, you're making a big mistake. Yeah, so please make sure your past is something that you learn from, so that your future self will thank you for it. Remember, two things very important when it comes to you. First is your intuition, because you're very, very intuitive people. Use your intuition well. So if your life is guiding you in a specific direction, go in that direction. And the second is manifestation. If you want a different life for yourself, you can have that life for yourself. Because remember, you're trapping yourself in whichever circumstances you find in. So manifest a different reality. Manifest a different future. And remember this is something, this is a power that you're going to be having with yourself, not only today, but for a long time. Yeah. So right now, I feel like there is a lot you need to rectify in your life. And that rectification is a message that your future self is bringing towards you. Yeah. So please make sure, if you can, you come back to this video at least 2 to 3 times, sometimes in the next 1 month. Yeah. Go through it again and again and just see what you've done, what you've been able to accomplish, and what you've not been able to accomplish. Lot of changes are needed, lot of adjustments are needed as far as your future self is concerned. So make them, so that in the future you could actually live a life that you're meant to. Yeah. See, remember, I do this video so that your future is better, so that your future is brilliant and it is shiny and you get to live it fully. So live a good life. Change begins for you from today. So what can you change today that your future self will thank you for, is what I'm going to be leaving you with. As always, I'll see you in my next video. But before that, I want to leave a lot of prayers and lot of good wishes for you. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello, and if you've selected pile 3, these are the messages that you need to receive from your future self. First of all, your future self is telling you you're going to live a very long life. You're going to live a long life, you're going to be living a healthy life, you're going to be living a simple life, and you're going to be living a blessed life. Make no mistake, because you are going to be turning into a wise person, very wise person, a loving person too, but you're going to be living a full life. So absolutely don't worry about it. Just make sure you're connected with nature and you're not so much connecting with too many people, okay? Just keep sure your life is simple. Your life is blessed and beautiful. That is the only thing that you need to remember. And now this is interestingly a message that has come through before as well. You are an author. There is a book inside you and that book needs to come out. So if you're procrastinating about it, please don't, because that book needs to be written today. So start today. Even if this is one line, even if this is a single alphabet, write it down. Express yourself little by little, one step at a time. Yeah, so start today wherever you are. Make time to write. Even if this is, for a few hours every day, do it. Yeah, but you have to be consistent. That's most important. Yes, the key for you when it comes to your future self is like, keep it simple. Organic food, food that is healthy for you, food that is nourishing for your body, and preferably food that you cook for your own self is what is important for you. So right now, if you have a habit of, eating processed food, see, it's okay, it's fun sometimes, but don't make it a habit. Home cooked food, that is the way forward for you. In fact, not only cooking for yourself, but also cooking for your family. Cooking for maybe your kids, cooking for your grandkids, that is the way forward for you. But hand cooked meal, very important. So if you don't know how to cook, you have to learn. Yeah. And remember this, there is a long way for you to go. There are a lot of places that you need to travel. So I feel like you are going to be one of those people. In the future, you're going to be traveling a great deal. And sometimes even moving. Okay? You may in fact move places, move from the place that you're living in. I don't think this will be very, very far away. But yeah, I think you're going to be moving in the future. Yeah? So be prepared for the travel of a lifetime. But travel lightly. Simplifying your life. See, for some people, even this is possible that they have just that one bag and they can travel with it. But of course, that is like extreme. But travel light. Traveling light for you, from your future self is a message that is very, very complex in it. Reduce your belongings, reduce your mental baggage, and forgive. Be like that free person, who holds no grudges and just lives a beautiful, simple life. That is who you intend to be. Because remember, for people who actually reach that old age, they are not the kind of people who carry grudges. Yeah, so simplify your life and travel simply. But interestingly, you have to make sure that you're reading, okay? And by reading, I mean reading books, physical books at that. Okay, now this is a very specific message, I know, but that is the vision I'm getting here. Books are going to be important. So make sure first of all you own physical copies, because probably you're reading something today that you're going to be needing tomorrow. And then you'll have to be like, oh, where did I read this? Where did I read this? Where can I find this information? Then make sure that you're having a physical book with you. But you're constantly going to be improving your knowledge. Of course, if you're going to be a wise old person who shares a lot of wisdom, then that is important. But creativity too, Make sure you have a hobby which makes you happy, which lightens you up. Painting, pottery, creating art, whatever it is. But creativity in some form is something that you need. Instrument, if there is somebody who knows how to play an instrument but probably has ignored it for a long time, pick it up again. Very important. And remember, wake up early in the morning. Yeah, now this is a very specific message and I know that's very difficult for a couple of people. But if you can actually wake up like at least half an hour before the sunrise and actually witness that sunrise, that is going to be having a miraculous effect not only on your body but your mind and soul as well. Yeah, because you have to appreciate the beauty of your surroundings. Yeah, they say rise with the sun, and as the sun is going down, wrap up your activities and just, settle down for the rest of the night. That is the way it is for you. But appreciate every sunrise is very important. Remember this, don't do something that you don't want to do. Yeah, so if you're carrying a load on somebody else's behalf, don't do it. If you feel like you need to take up certain responsibilities, if you need to take up certain tasks, or if you've chosen a coursework, even as a student, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But don't carry too much. Don't try to do too many things simultaneously. Don't try to study too many things simultaneously. One thing only, do it well, take care of it. Simplification is the way forward for you. So lighten up your load, very important. And remember, it is not your responsibility to carry the burdens of the world on your shoulder. You can give advice, but how they follow through on that advice is not your responsibility. That is between them and their God. Okay? So that is where your job ends. Yeah? And yes, one thing that you need to have is courage. You need to have courage to want to choose a different life for yourself. You need to have the courage to travel. You need to have the courage to move. You need to have a courage to even simplify. So courage is going to be very important. See, sometimes what happens is certain people have certain dreams, but they're like, oh, maybe I'm not going to be doing that because I don't feel like I'm brave enough. Yeah? So don't let regrets be a part of your life. If you have a dream and you've really wanted to make that dream come true, make it come true. Yeah? That is your future self telling you. So your future self doesn't want to have regrets. And they're telling you, can you just be a little bit brave, please? That's a message. Now, move. Yeah, that's what I was telling you. I was intuitively getting this message. Probably you're going to be changing a house. You're not going to live where you're living in currently. Of course, this can happen anytime in the future. This can even happen a couple of months down the line. This can happen a couple of times down the line, even a couple of weeks down the line. But it is going to be happening. And don't be afraid to move. But of course, travel is also on the cards for you. Yeah? But you need to see the world. Right now, wherever you are, it's not going to be for a long time. Yeah? And remember, one thing that you need to do every single day is to make an effort towards being a better person. Not in competition with others, because, for your life, others have no place, in fact. Your competition, your own story is your own, and your life is going to be your own, because honestly, not everybody is going to be able to live that kind of a life. So then, when it comes to becoming a better person, you have to become a better person than you were yesterday. Yeah? So do something that is better today. If you've made a mistake yesterday, correct it today and then don't repeat it once again. Yeah? So you have to course correct yourself again and again and correct your mistakes again and again. And remember, always make sure that you are in tune with your highest truth. See, sometimes what happens is, we tend to say things to ourselves that are not actually true to make ourselves convince ourselves of something. I know I'm complicating this a lot, but once again, this is about whatever I am thinking right now. Is this really the truth? Yeah? So you have to be honest with yourself. Maintaining an honest relationship with yourself is most important for you, and that is what your future self is telling you. If you are in a relationship, you have to ask yourself, is this relationship going to be something that is going to be worthwhile for me in the future? Romantic and otherwise. Yeah? Is this partner going to stick with me for the long run? Or are they going to be, leaving when it is not convenient for them? Yeah? Be honest with yourself. Very important. Open your eyes to the truth. And remember, you are not meant to be inspired by somebody else's life. Yeah? So if you're looking at somebody's life and you're like, oh, I want this. You don't want this, trust me. Because your own life is going to be so much more better for you than anybody else's life. So when it comes to getting inspiration, you're supposed to inspired through yourself or through nature or through something else entirely, but never through other people. Because you do not have your own moves, you are the moves here. Yeah, so creativity begins from you. You want a certain kind of life, it begins for you. If you want to, decorate your household in a particular way, that inspiration begins with you. Because your life, your home, your story is unique. And that is what your future self is telling you. Don't fit into anybody else's molds. That is not you. You're meant to be you. You're meant to be simple. You're meant to be beautiful. And you're meant to have a glorious life. When you're old, when you're actually this old, you're not going to be having any regrets. Because I honestly will tell you this. You're living your life on your own terms. And I think what better than this? Living life on your own terms, living a blessed life, being a blessing to other people too. Because your presence is going to bring happiness to others. You're going to be contributing to the world by being yourself. It's almost like when you become old, people will be like, I want to be like this person. Especially the younger people, The young kids, really, really young kids, I'm getting here this vision. They're going to be like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be like, Miss this, or I want to be like Mr. This. That is the legacy that you're leaving behind. And that is the message your future self has for you. Live simply, live beautifully, and remember to just be a better person every day. That's it. Simple. I will leave you here once again with nothing but my best wishes for your future life. Live gloriously, Pile 3. You're doing a good job. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.